Bet $1 million on the Chargers up 27-0. You're going to lose. Let's go. It's a money pot thing. I can't even find the thing. We don't. Welcome everybody back to another episode of the MoneyPot Podcast. I'm your guy. I am your host. I am the CEO. I am him. They call me Moss Money, and that's my guy Brian Wilson, aka they call him Willie. Willie Vegas. What's up, boy?
What's up, man? What's up? What's going on, everybody?
What's going on, man? Good morning. Good morning. Oh man, what a nice whirlwind of games last night. Obviously, the talk of the town, the talk of the night. I went to sleep, woke up, and shit. Dougie P had his hands up like this, grabbing his head. What the greatest comeback, maybe no, third greatest, largest comeback in playoff history. Down 27-0, lost the turnover battle, and come back and pulls off an unbelievable win, 31-0. Those are things that storybooks are made of, and I think he came on the podium and said that this was probably. He even said even the same breath of winning the championship in Philly that this was the greatest coaching win he's had in his career, man. So shout out to Dougie P. Shout out to the Jags. They move on. But like that, we're going to move on to we got 3 games on the slate today. We got back to normal time, 1 o'clock game today, and then we got a big Monday night game. So the flow. What we're going to do today is go through our player props and fantasy and any bet we can think of today that we see today that makes a lot of sense for you guys to win as much money as you possibly can. So let's bring up our sports book. We're doing we were playing with Caesars for a little bit. I think I'm gonna switch back to Overliable and go FanDuel today. And let's start it off, Willie, man. First game of the day, we got the Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills. Should say minus 30.
Yeah, what is it? 13 right now? 13
it's minus 13.5. Yeah, total is 44.5, man. Talk to us. Walk us through this game, Willie, man. What you like in this game? Who you like?
I mean, it is a divisional battle, so they know each other well. But like you said, before we fired it up, we were talking about this. Is Skylar Thompson in a big spot on the road. Very, very tough environment in Buffalo. You know that the crazies will be out. And obviously Hamlin spoke to the team yesterday. We saw that. So they're going to be extra motivated if they weren't already. This is a bad spot for Miami. I would love to say that Miami keeps it close. I just don't know how they do.
I don't think they do.
I'm not going to I'm not sitting here telling you to bet a ton of money on the Buffalo. But I don't see how Miami can keep it close. If I had to pick a side here, I would take the Bills. There are some props I like in this game, though. I will say that.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
You're good. But yeah, I just don't see how Miami can stay in this game because you know that they're going to be. Buffalo is obviously jacked up for this game, super motivated. Sure. Josh Allen is a problem. I expect him to have a very good game. And I just don't know that Skylar Thompson can keep them in it. Now, if he can hit some deep balls, obviously Tyreek and Jalen are problems out there. So you never know.
But I think the problem is they got Buffalo's got, their secondary is kind of healthy. He's got a couple of games. Secondary. Yeah, very so they got, Tre'Davious White, and then I forget who was the other guy. The other guy on the other side was pretty good too. So, I mean,
their safety play is very good.
Who's that? Yeah. Poyer, yeah. Poyer's back there. So, I think that I think you're absolutely right. And then like we had talked offline, they got a call from they got a nice visit from Hamlin to lift up spirits. So he's walking through the facility. So that emotional trickle effect that kind of started 2 games ago, it's going to continue to snowball. As the more he continues to show his face, and and we're in the media market, they know what gets the crowd going. They know their audience. So it wouldn't surprise me in the beginning of the game. They might not do it on air. They might show it, but in the beginning of the game, there might be a message from Hamlin for the Bills Mafia faithful that's just going to take that thing up
that.
just extra knots going. I don't know where he is physically. I'm pretty sure he wants to be at the game in like a back seat or something like that. But if he's in the building and that crowd knows he's in the building, oh man, you can forget it.
Bills by a million.
Yeah, you can forget it. So I do agree with you here, man. Let's switch the conversation from a betting perspective, from a player's props. For me, I like any touchdown by Josh Allen. I think he was plus 125 last. Plus 115. He dropped a little bit. At plus 115, I do like him to get into the zone today. His passing touchdowns is only 1.5. So if they only have him going to score 2 touchdowns, that's 14 points. Their team totals 28, if I'm not mistaken, and I bet they get over that. I bet they score somewhere in the 30s today. So to me, for that to happen, he's either going to throw 3 or 4 touchdowns, which is very likely, but I think he runs in and gets one in the zone. I think he leads them in rushing touchdowns anyway. So
he definitely does. He definitely does. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it makes a ton of sense for me. And that the one thing I know about Buffalo, and if you watch Buffalo, you look at some of the games that they played against Miami or any games that have been kind of inferior competition to them, they blow them the fuck out, bro. Like they do. And their players just play. So from a DFS perspective, because it's going to be tight this week, right? From DFS, you don't have so many games.
Yeah.
So everybody's going to have. Yep.
Especially if you're just doing today. If you're just doing today, 3 games. If you did the whole weekend, maybe 6.
So it's going to be really crucial for you to make great plays and then your guys hit and get their value and find other guys of value. So from a DFS perspective, because everybody's going to have some similar stacks. Everybody's going to have Allen and
hitting
Diggs.
the big guys, obviously, but then hitting the small guys that have big games is the biggest key on small slates like this. You got to hit a small guy that has a big game. You have to.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that people who are picking this game or attacking this game, I can see obviously a lot of Allen and Diggs stacks.
Oh yeah, big time. I think we were talking about this already, but I like James Cook as a guy that's maybe not. He's not going to be as expensive. He's not going to be as owned. Probably Singletary will be higher owned. And I think James Cook, he outsnapped Singletary last week. He seems to starting to be taking over the bulk share, and they like him better out of the backfield. Miami stops the run pretty well, but they struggle with the running backs out of the backfield. I think James Cook is a sneaky good play today, DFS, and he's a good TD play today. And he's a really good over receptions play.
Yeah. Let's look at that because it's probably 2.5, maybe 2.
It's got to be 2.5.
Let's see where he's at.
It might be
1.5. Yeah, but you're paying for it. Minus 164 in the line.
Okay, yeah, that's rough. But I think that hits easy.
Yeah.
I might even bump it up to 2.5 if we can. I'm not sure they'll allow it,
but is there alternate receptions in here?
Yeah, I'm not sure I don't think they'll allow it yet.
Yeah, I don't think for him it would be. It would probably be the other guys if there was. I like Gesicki today too for Dolphins. If you want to look the other way. You figure
someone's going to catch some balls for them today. I know he hasn't been targeted a ton, but he's caught a good amount of TDs, and you would think that he's more of a safety blanket for Skyler.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, short, kind of get Thompson in some type of rhythm, short outs, Diggs, stuff like that. When they're short, they're 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. He's not going to be throwing long.
They can't throw wide receiver screens all game,
Yeah, right.
I'm sure they're going to throw plenty of them.
Yeah. In the last 2 games, Hill's been so quiet, and that's because of the inability, the unstable
to get the ball downfield.
The unstableness of the quarterback position. So I like his under. I mean, it's scary.
I still think they're going to try to get. He might go over catches. But I don't know about his yards, because I think they're going to try to feed them some wide receiver screens and stuff. So he might catch like 8-9 balls, but it'll only be for like 50 yards.
Yeah, there's 63.5. And obviously he's always liable to get loose. The last time they played, Waddle looked like the main target for Thompson, and Hill didn't really do much. So, I mean, it's the 3rd time these teams are playing. They're 1-1 in the regular season. So we will see how this plays out. But like I said, if any bet I'm betting here, I'm betting Josh Allen on his touchdown prompts, and I don't mind his passing prompts as well. Over 260. Like I said, these last two times these teams played, I think he had 300, and then I think he had a 400 game. If I'm not mistaken.
I mean, Stephon Diggs and him have such a connection. You got to figure that he's going to score. I know that's probably it's probably not plus money for him to score. A guy that has had really good postseason history so far with Buffalo is Gabriel Davis. I think he's got 6 postseason TDs. He's probably plus money.
I like that.
And maybe Dawson Knox, who's been catching more touchdowns recently, as a guy, as a anytime TD scorer that's going to get you plus money. I would be looking at Dawson Knox, James Cook, Gabe Davis. Because I figure, I know you already said it, 28 points is what their team over-under is. I think they're going over. I would expect Buffalo to score 4 touchdowns at least today, which means there's TDs to be had.
Yep, there's TDs to be had. I completely agree. And like I said, let's look at that team total real quick here. Dolphins. Yeah, it ticked up to 29.5. Yeah, they're going to get the 30.
Yeah, they're going to score points.
They're going to score points. Yeah, they're going to get the 30.
I wouldn't be surprised if they have a defensive score, honestly.
Makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, forcing the ball.
Yep.
Especially if they start getting after Skyler, it might get ugly.
Yeah. Total touchdowns scored 5. That seems low. It's only 35 total points.
That's them thinking that the Dolphins aren't going to score. That's what that is.
Yeah, I think the Dolphins get in 1.
Yeah, they got to get 1 in, right?
Yeah, I think they get in 1. But we're talking about
you figure Waddle or Tyreek is going to get loose on something.
Yeah, and then it's not even them scoring; it's just like a 50-yard game. Like if McDaniels wants to set the tone for this game, first game play action, we're going deep. Right, we're chucking it up, and we're just going to let.
I would love to see him come out and just try to out physical them and run down their throat with Mostert. The only problem is I don't know that they can do that.
He's not playing. He's out.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, so they can't do that.
it's gonna be Wilson.
Oh, Jeff. Unfortunately, Jeff Wilson Jr. is more of a bounce guy. He's not gonna run it down their throat.
Yeah,
he likes to bounce. He ain't punishing.
Yeah. All right, sounds good. All right, let's move on to the next game. Now, this is a really interesting game. I think
I love this game. I think this is going to be a great game. Yes, but obviously last night's game with the comeback is probably going to win game of the week, but this one has a chance to be a really, really good game. Good game.
Yeah. You know what? And I didn't even ask our poll question. I'm sorry, y'all. We were on the Buffalo game, and I didn't even ask the poll question. All to the people out there. Will Josh Allen have the most DFS points of Wildcard Weekend? Yes or no? Agree or disagree? On YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook. Let us know what you think.
I agree. Right off the bat.
I'm going to agree. I'm going to agree to the poll. Yeah, I'm going to agree to the poll.
Yep.
I think he's the most
juicy matchup, you know?
Yeah. He's the most expensive guy.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Like the thing with it's a 2-7 matchup. We saw it yesterday with San Fran. Like that's if we're talking about a lopsided matchup, that's the only lopsided matchup really that you see during these playoffs is that 2-7 matchup because the 7 team has never been in before. It's the first year ever. And the 2 team is usually extremely good, kind of like San Fran yesterday and Buffalo today. So I would expect Buffalo to hammer Miami today.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah, I agree I once again, I agree to the poll as well. It makes a lot of sense. Yeah, like you said, Buffalo might not break a sweat today. It really might. They really might not. But we've seen wilder things happen.
Yeah, shit can happen.
Right. So you never know.
Why they play the game.
Yeah, we've seen wilder shit happen. So I don't want to not.
If you're betting the poll question here is you kind of want Dolphins to score a little bit because if they just get out and then they stop using Allen, he might not be the high scoring DFS player of the week.
Right. Right.
Because usually with those DFS games, like we were talking about it the last couple of weeks when we were making lineups, you want to attack these games that are going to be high scoring, a lot of points. Basically, the Chargers Jacksonville game from last night. If you had that loaded up, I mean, obviously San Fran scored a ton of points too, so you would need a little couple Niners in there. But that game had a ton of scoring in it last night.
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
whenever a team has to come back like that, they're going to throw for a ton of yards, they're going to put up a ton of points.
Yo, San Fran made it look like it was Seattle held tough.
Brock Purdy. I've been saying I'm not sure about Brock Purdy. It's a cute story. I don't know. Brock Purdy showed me something yesterday. Brock Purdy threw some ball. He broke contain and threw a ball to Brandon Ayuk in the back of the end zone. Now Ayuk dropped. That was a filthy throw. Filthy throw.
Yeah. You know, I think they kept talking about it as that his scramble ability is underrated.
Yeah.
Right. His elusiveness too. Yeah, his elusiveness is a little bit underrated for him to get out. Now he took some bad angles.
He seems to not see the fucking middle linebacker. If I that's the one thing I picked up on. He almost threw 2 picks to the middle linebacker where the guy's there the whole time and he just didn't see him. I would be floating my middle linebacker if I'm playing them next week, big time floating my middle linebacker. But that being said, he threw some great balls yesterday.
No,
he looks like the real deal. And they got a ton of weapons.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. I think he even said it too. Like he's like, look at my team, look at our defense, look at my offensive line, look at my running back, look at my receiver. They're loaded. They're tight end. They're loaded everywhere on the field. Ex-Pro Bowlers, all pros, all over.
Playmakers everywhere. Yeah,
everywhere. Playmakers everywhere. And as long as he can deliver the ball, they're just going to keep chugging along. But some of those running concepts, I mean, shit, me and you both could have walked through some of those lines.
Yeah, McCaffrey, the one where McCaffrey went like 70 down the sideline. I'm getting 30 on that. I'm getting 30 on that ball. That was a bust. You could have you could drove a bus through that. Yep.
It was insane. I was just like, wow. And then to me, I was like, is Seattle's defense really this bad on the edges? That's what it was. It was the edges. They couldn't contain on the edges. Anything up the middle, they were stuffing, but on the edges, oh my God. It was crazy. All right, let's get to the game. We got the New York Giants, Minnesota Vikings. These teams played already in the regular seasons with the Vikings hitting like a 55, 56-yarder.
Might have been 60.
It might have been 60.
It was a long one. It was a long one.
It was long for sure. Vikings are favorite -3. Total was 47.5. So my take on this game, and I said this on MoneyPot Podcast. If you're not following, go ahead and follow on all social media platforms on YouTube where we did the game breakdown. But I'll re kind of iterate it here. I was on the Giants as soon as this game dropped. I was like, oh man. I was like, I really like the Giants. Now the whole world is on the Giants. And I'm switching. I actually like the Vikings here. I think the Vikings win. I think the Vikings win the game here. I think it's gonna be a very close, a very tight game. But the one thing I'm giving the Vikings here an edge, and you can see in the line, is the home field advantage. Even when Mike Zimmer was there, the Vikings were a good home team. Even after Mike Zimmer left, or when they had the big kind of the issue with the snow and it fell through Rector Stadium and they had to get a new stadium and they went outside and played at University of Minnesota. They were still good at home. And even this year, they are still good at home. I think it's going to be tough for this Giants team to come in here and play. I think it's going to be tough for Daniel Jones to play like he did in that game. I believe he had almost 335 yards and a touch. He had a hell of a game in that game. So I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do this. In this game, this is really telling you where Daniel Jones is going to be moving forward if he can go in here and play his ass off. Player props here. I'm looking at Barkley. I'm looking at his receptions. I think he has like almost 20 receptions in the last 3 games. I think the last time these guys played, he had 8 receptions this game. So I'll be looking at that all over Stephon Diggs. I mean, not Stephon Diggs, Jefferson. He's going to be Gideon from the 50-yard line to the goddamn end zone. Give me I love a stack here of Kirk Cousins and Jeff, because I think they'll run enough with Cook, do some screens, probably, that's things that they are kind of considered runs, but that interior of that fresh now defensive line who got a week off coming in fresh, that interior of that New York Giants game, it's going to be tough to run up the middle there. the way kind of the Vikings like to run. So I think Kirk Cousins is going to be throwing all game. You're going to see him throwing almost 40 to 45 times this game. And, you can see a 10 catch, maybe 130.
It should be a high scoring game. I expect it to be a high scoring game.
Right.
So, I actually like Daniel Jones today in DFS play. Because
I think he's going to be a popular pick.
Can't stop anyone. The Vikings secondary stinks. I like Daniel Jones to score a TD on his feet today. I think he runs one in, and I think he's a good DFS play. I don't know if the Giants are going to win. I do like the Giants in this game, but I think it's up in the air. I mean, Minnesota should win. Obviously, they're at home; they should win. The Giants. This is going to be a tough game. I think it's going to be super tight. I would bet the Giants if I was betting this game, but I think I'm just going to take the over. If I had to take a side, I'd probably take the Giants, but I'm just going to take the over. I like a lot of points in this game. I'm targeting this game heavy in DFS today. I really am. I like Richie James in this game. I like Saquon. You already mentioned. I like Justin Jefferson. I like KJ Osborne, who's been playing really
KJ.
well.
Yeah, KJ. I think this is too low for KJ. That 33.5 receiving props.
I love KJ Osborne over 33.5. I think he scores a touchdown too. He is more of their other playmaker besides Jefferson now. It's no longer Thielen. Thielen is he's like the reliable security blanket. Thielen is now. He's the guy he goes to in like third downs for 8 to 10 yards across the middle. Yep. But Thielen isn't the explosive player he used to be.
No, not even close. Not even close.
And Osborne is that guy now. He's the guy that they go down the field to if it's not the Jefferson.
Yeah, what did I'm trying to think because
he's been playing well. He may have had a great game against them last time. I forget, and I'm using my phone, so I can't look it up. But I think he might have had a really good game in that game. KJ,
I was about to say Hawkinson. I know Hawkinson was.
Oh, I love Hawkinson. Had a great game against them too. Hawkinson's a very good play today.
Yeah. Well, Hawkinson on Detroit when they last played Minnesota?
No. He caught 2 tutties, I think, if I remember correctly. They didn't play that long ago. It's probably only like 5 weeks ago.
Yeah. He went off. I'm sorry. Yeah, he went off. I apologize. Yeah, he had 13 catches, 109 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Yep, that's what I thought.
Osborne only had 3 catches for 17, but it was because Hawkinson was going off.
Yeah, Hawkinson went off. It was the week before that Osborne went off. Then that's what it was. But he's been playing better. I do like the over 33 for Osborne for sure.
Yeah, I do like that.
And this could be another game where I know Hawkinson already went off against them. You would think that the Giants are going to try to take him away, but Giants have struggled with tight ends all season, and he might go off again today.
Yeah,
it's all about what the Giants do because you would assume they're going to try to take away Jefferson, try to double him as much as possible, which is, I assume, what they did in that matchup, and that's why Hawkinson went off the way he did. Jefferson's still going to be a good play regardless because he's still going to get around 100 yards even if they try to take him away, just because Kirk targets him 15 times a game, So I wouldn't shy away from Jefferson, but they might try to limit him. I would assume they're going to try to limit him beating them over to the top. Definitely have a safety over the top.
Yeah. I think that
which should open up more for maybe Dalvin Cook over receptions, but definitely Hawkinson again, probably.
Yeah. I mean, he's sitting at minus 156, which
how many receptions do they have Hawkinson at?
I bet you it's probably got.
It's got to be pretty good.
4.5.
That's not that high, actually. I was expecting higher.
That's low. Yeah, it's low.
And I feel like that's a good bet too. There's going to be points scored in this game. I expect guys catching balls. I would be shocked if this is a low-scoring game.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't do much in Chicago, but before that, out of the last 4 games, he's had 23 catches. The last 4 games. So he was average. I mean, if you average it out, right, 6 catches. In the last 3 games, he's hit this well over. He had 1 catch against Chicago, 7 against Green Bay, and 13 obviously against the Giants there, the G-Men back in what's that, Christmas Eve game. So
and the Chicago game doesn't really matter anyway, right? Because they didn't really play for anything in that game, right?
No, they didn't play for anything in that game. I think you were talking about earlier about Barkley scoring here.
Yeah,
Looking at the Giants' offensive skill set, guys. Um,
I do
is
like
it just
Richie
Barkley?
James. He's been playing. So Richie James since maybe I don't want to quote me. You can look it up, but I want to say Richie James has caught probably 25 balls in the last 5 weeks. He's been really good. He's getting a lot of targets. I think Richie James is a good play today. Very good play, especially DFS because he's going to be pretty cheap.
Yeah, yeah.
And especially if you're trying to fit Justin Jefferson and Stephon Diggs in a lineup today, which I'm sure a lot of people are going to try to do, you got to go cheap after that because those guys are mega expensive.
Right. I hear you. Yeah. Let me see. What's Richard James's prompts is only at 51. I think he's
Yeah,
the high on their side.
he's been playing well. He probably is.
Yeah, he is. He is the high on their side. Yeah, I don't see why they think that. I'm not sure that the Giants are going to be able to run the ball I mean, Barkley could get loose, but I think he's going to do a lot of his damage in receiving. What's Jones's? Jones is at 39 yards. Sounds about right.
Yeah,
So
rushing. I think
rushing.
Daniel Jones scores a TD today. I actually really like a little TD parlay today of a couple QBs all to score.
Yeah, go ahead.
Allen and Jones both to score. Rushing
Mm,
TDs today.
let's see what that looks like. I like that. I'll bring that up. Where is Jones? 2-1. Keep going. And you said Allen?
And Josh Allen's got to be plus 125 ish, right? So I would
Yeah, I
think
think he was
it's got to be
115.
like it's probably plus 500 or so for both of them.
Now he jumped. He went to 125.
Oh, I like that.
There we go.
Plus
Plus
597.
plus six
Love
to
it.
1. Daniel Jones and Josh Allen to score. I like
I
it.
like it. I like it.
I like it. All right, let's go back here. Anything else on this game? You got any other plays for G-Man versus Vikings? Like we both said, it should be a really
Yeah, I
good
mean, I
game.
like Saquon, like you've already mentioned. I think Saquon is I think over rushing yards and over receptions are both good plays, and I think he's going to score. And
Yeah.
I like KJ Osborne over. Jefferson has to score, you figure, but that's probably minus money. That's not plus money. I like Richie James over yards.
Yeah.
I like a lot in this game. I'm going to play a lot of guys in this game, and I think Hawkinson is probably going to score as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
See, Zach Boylan's with it. He's got it.
Yeah, Hawkinson for catches. Giants don't cover tight ends well.
Yeah,
But
I mean, he
you
already caught
gotta
13.
You
You would hope that they're like, oh, he caught 13.
Yeah,
We'll try to take him away.
like he killed us last game, right? You gotta hope.
You only need to get 5 to hit the prop, though. So I feel like 5 is. He caught 13. I think he should get 5.
Yeah, right. Cheap, I would do Jefferson and Diggs, skip Chase, but everyone else runners got to be like 5,000, DraftKings 6,000. Yeah. We'll get to it. We'll get to it here in a little bit. Let's keep the train moving. We only got a couple games. I don't want to take the hour to do a couple games. So 2 more games left. Sunday night game. I'm surprised this line is as low as it is. Especially
Baltimore's
with the news
defense has been so good. That's the only reason.
Yeah,
I feel like
guess
that's
so.
the only reason.
Yeah.
And it's a divisional matchup. I actually think that Baltimore might cover this game. I love Cincinnati. I'm a Cincinnati guy. I've been saying I think probably up until now because of just the way things are and the way things go. I think the Bills are probably going to make it to the Super Bowl because of the Hamlin thing and the team of destiny type shit. But I was saying Cincinnati for the last half of the year. I've been saying Cincinnati's going to go to the Super Bowl. I love the Cincinnati Bengals, but this is a tough matchup. It's a division matchup. They know you. I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if this is only a 7-point win, which would get a cover for Baltimore, right? What are they, 8.5?
Yeah, it's 8.5, and the rumor or the word is that they're looking at both quarterbacks from Baltimore. It doesn't seem like Huntley's 100%. He has tendonitis in his throwing shoulder, so it looks like both of them are going to play. I think the backup what's his name? Anthony. It's like Anthony. Is it Anthony Brown?
Anthony Brown. Yes,
is it Anthony Brown?
Anthony Brown.
So I don't know what, and that's why I wonder why this line is low. I mean, I know
I would
Harbaugh
assume that
is a
Baltimore's
great
going to try
coach.
to run, but the Bengals are tough to run on.
Yeah.
But I guess that's just it's power against power, and see how we do. I do like J.K. Dobbins. I know they rested him last week, so he should be raring to go. If you're going to play anybody on Baltimore today, that's the guy I would look at, and maybe
I'm only looking at Andrews.
If Anthony, the thing with Andrews though is if Anthony Brown plays like they're saying, I would look Isaiah Likely because that's who he throws to. Isaiah Likely caught a ton of balls last couple weeks, and Andrews didn't.
But did they both play?
Yeah.
Oh, they both did play.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, I didn't know they both played. I thought it was I thought they rested their start. Wow, Likely receiving is 14.5.
I love it.
Jesus.
Over. Especially if Brown's playing. He throws the ball Likely a ton.
Wow. Why is Sammy Watkins there? Did Sammy Watkins go back to Baltimore?
Sammy Watkins caught a TD last week for Baltimore, I think.
Did he get re-signed by Baltimore?
Yeah, Watkins on Baltimore, yeah.
Because he was on the Chiefs earlier this year, right?
No,
he was always on Baltimore.
He was on Green Bay earlier this year.
He was on Green Bay, okay. Yeah. Wow. How about that? Look at Sammy.
Yeah, I think Baltimore had Deshaun.
Yeah,
I think they got rid of Deshaun and got Watkins.
Oh, I don't even know they let Jackson
or Deshaun's still there. I'm not sure, but Watkins is definitely there.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at, if anything for Baltimore side, I'm looking at Andrews for me. I mean, he's got to be part of the game plan. That's just my take on it. And I think you can easily put him where Likely is when he had a lot of balls last game. So
I'm right with you. Like that's the obvious. I think Likely is the sneak play and Andrews is the obvious play. And obviously, if you think that they're going to stay in the game like I think, then maybe J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah, I mean, J.K. Dobbins just has to have a good games. I would be looking at his rushing attempts for me.
Oh, yeah, that's got to be. They're going to give him the ball 30 times, I would think. Or they're going to try to. Their goal is to give him the ball 30 times.
Yeah, he's at 13.5.
Well, that's got to be. It's got to be over that.
Yeah, it's minus 148, so you're paying for it, obviously. But yeah, I think he gets the ball almost 15. It's like you said, 15 to 17 times easily. They're gonna have to. They're gonna have to control the game and play kind of Baltimore type style. Like they've always done. And
I think keep Joe off the field. That's their goal.
Yeah,
I think let their defense eat and hopefully keep Burrow off the field. And Baltimore's defense has been playing great since they got Roquan Smith. They've been playing spectacular. That's the only reason I would shy. That's why because I love the Bengals, and I would normally say I love stacking the Burrow with some Bengals receivers, maybe a little mixing, but not against this Baltimore defense. I would shy away from the Bengals. Maybe Jamar Chase or maybe T. Higgins. I would assume one of them has a pretty good game because they're going to try to take the other one away. Not sure who is going to have the bigger game. Maybe Higgins, but I don't know. I would kind of avoid this game on DFS. I would avoid it.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else in this game that we can probably pull out from a defensive standpoint? I wonder what. Oh wow, he's at Roquan Smith's tackles at 9.5, and it's minus 122.
Yeah, and he's going to go over more than likely.
I was about to say that shit is going to hit too. I just want to look what he's had the last couple games. Because I think that now remember that's solo and assist. That is solo and assist. So I see why he had 12 tackles last game. So that makes a lot of sense. It was
his most
all year.
He probably has 12 a game.
No, that was his most all year.
Wow.
But I mean, it was against Chicago. Yeah, he is a monster.
Yeah, former squad too. Yeah. That's he was a little extra motivated for that one.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Monday night game. Here we go. Cowboys, Buccaneers. Dak, Brady.
This should be a good game.
Under the lights. I've only bet against Tom Brady, and I say this all the time. Every time I talk about betting with Tom in a game with Tom, I've only bet against Tom a handful of times, literally 5. I'm 1-4 against betting against Tom Brady, and the one was obviously the Super Bowl. I was 0-4 up until that point. And obviously it was the Super Bowl, so I was going down this with the ship on this one. I do like Tom's passing prompts over. They can't run the ball.
No, they can't.
They're not gonna be able to run the ball against this Dallas Cowboys team.
I mean, he set a new record this year that he had previously set last year for completions in the season because they just throw.
Yeah, I completely agree. So
I would assume that Chris Godwin he's going to catch a lot of balls.
Yeah,
like he's not the deep threat. He's the security blanket, but he's going to catch a lot of balls on Monday night.
Probably 6.5, I bet. Where's he at? Yeah, bang, right there, right on the number, 6.5. 6.5, and it's minus 154.
I like the over.
Yeah. I like CD Lamb here. That's a good value for CD. 6.5 over, plus 114. I think he's had like almost 23 catches in the last 3 games or something like that.
He's been playing well, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's been playing well, and they've been throwing the ball.
Except for that game against the Commanders where everyone played like shit. So I'm not even going to, they were already pretty – well, they weren't locked in because if we would have lost and they would have won, then they look like morons. But, again, I think –
Yo, Chucks.
I've been looking at this game. This game is such a weird game to me. I know Brady's never lost to the Cowboys in his career. Dak's never beat Tampa. But
you like the Cowboys.
But if you're asking me straight up, who's the better team? It's Dallas. Dallas is the better team.
Right.
They are.
Exactly.
They just are. Tampa's not good. They stink. I've watched Tampa play all year. They fucking stink. They stink. I'm like, I don't even know how they win games. They are awful. Yeah. And then they scored 3 touchdowns at the end of the game and win somehow. It's crazy. But their biggest issue is their line is hurt. Wirfs has been hurt. Their line is banged up, and the Cowboys get after the quarterback. And Tom can't get out of there. I mean, he gets rid of the ball fastest in the NFL, but he can't move. We all know that. So if there's pressure in his face, it's going to be a long day. I want to say the Bucs win. I've been saying the Bucs win, but I don't know. I think the Cowboys – honestly, I think the Cowboys' defense is a good play. I think the Cowboys are going to win.
I think the Cowboys roll here, bro.
They might roll. I think the Cowboys don't want to say that, but
roll.
They should roll, but they probably won't. Because they're the Cowboys, they probably won't. But they should.
And when I say roll, I don't mean beat them by 2 touchdowns. I would say roll. I think this is a touchdown game. I think they should win by a touchdown. Maybe Tom has the ball and Cowboys are up by 6 and a touchdown scores. And we've seen this story so many times with Tom driving. He's driving, and maybe, we get a pick, we get a sack, strip, fumble, Parsons, something like that happens. But I don't see how Dallas loses this game. I really don't. I
can see them losing the game just because they're the Cowboys and this is what they do. But
that's true. I mean, I give you that.
They're the better team. They're the better team.
They're by far the better team. They're coming off an embarrassing loss too. It's just a good spot for Dallas to win this game. And I definitely don't like backing the Cowboys, but I like money. So if you guys are on the Cowboys or you like Tampa, really look at this game because I think there's a really good chance that Dallas wins this game. And
it should be a great game because it should be, like you said, tough to bet against Tom in the playoffs. Yeah. I've been saying all week, the only reason I think that Tampa wins is just because it's Brady in the playoffs, because that's just what he does. Because Tampa stinks. They're not good. Yeah. They can't run the football at all, period. Cannot run the football. And guess what? That's a recipe for destruction. You saw it with the Chargers. Chargers can't run the football. They're done. With a 27-0 lead and a 5-turn and win the turnover battle by 5.
Yeah, man.
That means that's what happens when you can't run the football. Everyone stays in the game against you because you can't run the football. And the fucking Buccaneers cannot run the football.
Any other DFS plays you like here? We'll get the
Tony Pollard. I like Tony Pollard a lot.
His over touchdowns,
I think Tony Pollard's going to have a big game. Over rushing yards, over receptions, and I think he scores.
I like it.
And coming out for I'm not really coming out because everyone knows Tony Pollard's good, but big game in the playoffs. I think Zeke is pretty much done. They're going to still give him the ball around the goal line, which he might hawk a TD from Pollard, but Pollard's going to score on a long one. Probably a pass.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yep.
I can see
I
that.
see. They've been throwing the ball to him a lot out of the backfield recently. I like some Tony Pollard a lot. And I hate the fucking Cowboys, but I like some Tony
Pollard. All right, let's see if we can come through the daily fantasy lineup. If you guys haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're watching A2D Radio, you should already know the train is on the tracks and we're moving along. You better get on, because if not, you're going to get left behind, and we'll come back and circle around once you get on the train. So make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe, and follow A2D on all social media platforms. All right, where we starting with the stack here? Are we going Allen, Diggs? Are you like a little Daniel Jones, Barkley, a little Cousins, Jefferson? Give me a stack here. Where are we starting out?
I think we should start with Cousins.
All right, Cousins and Jeff.
Just because I like that game a lot. I'm going to be making multiple with this game heavily involved, and obviously we like Allen as well. Like we already talked about, my biggest fear in that game is that Buffalo runs away and hides, and then they don't need Allen to do a lot.
Yeah, see, it's funny in those games where they run away, he's still chucking it.
Yeah, he'll still put up 25-30, but it's not like the games where the teams are going back and forth scoring is the games where you want the DFS.
Yeah. So are we going with the obvious stack, Cousins and Jefferson?
Or if you're going to play Cousins, you got to go Jefferson.
Okay. And then I would double dipping. Are we going Hawkinson too?
I think this is when you decide. Yeah, I mean, I guess you have to go Hawkinson.
Okay.
But I was going to say you could even go, if you're feeling real frisky, I'm going to do one that has Jefferson and Hawkinson, but I'm going to do one that has Jefferson and Osborne because I think KJ is a good play.
Okay.
And he's pretty cheap, but I think we should go Hawkinson because that's the better play.
Yep. Let me zoom in for the folks real quick here.
And I think to be able to afford these guys, we should go Richie James out of the Giants side.
How far down is James?
He's got to be about 3,900, I'd say. Maybe $4,000.
Where's he at? There he is. Yep, we got him in there.
I think if you do that, it allows us to go and with the other receiver spot, and we just say, "Oh, hi, Stephon."
Just a little bit of Diggs. So we're looking kind of good. We got 18-8 with 4 to go.
And let's just bang the defense out of the way so that we can see what we're working with remaining.
Ooh.
See, this one is where I'm going to get a little aggressive here and say I kind of want to go Ravens D to save money. Their defense is playing great ball. I know it's in Cincinnati, but I think they're going to score you some points still. And they're super cheap.
Do it. We'll do it. We'll go with the not the best matchup, but the best defense on the board.
And they're what, 2,500?
Yeah, they're 25. Yeah. So now we got 16 to spread across 3.
Yeah, it gives us more to play with. And I really think that I think James Cook to save a little more money is a good play at running back, and then we can kind of see what we want to do with the last 2.
All right, I like it. So we got 11-5 now, which gives us a ton of flexibility. We can go a top running back and then fit in a flex.
So who is your favorite running back play?
Mixon.
Remaining.
I like Mixon. Mixon. Yeah, I like Mixon. He's even though I think he scores today. It's a tough matchup against that defense.
It's a very tough matchup.
But I think volume wise, but 17.5 is definitely a lot of points. So and that
what is he? 68? Is that what it is? 6,800.
Yeah, it's 68.
Which would leave us with what? What do we have exactly? 11?
11-5. 11-5.
I'll zoom in a little That'll leave us with 47. No, it's just a little small for me. I can't tell.
Yeah. I zoomed up just a little bit. Can you see that a little bit better now?
Oh yeah, I got you now. Yep. Okay. Good.
So, Dobbins doesn't sound too bad. He's only at 10 points.
I think that he's going to get the ball today, but there might be better plays now. This is getting really aggressive, but if we did Saquon, What could we afford
36
at the flex?
The top is Robinson. McKenzie's not bad as a stream option. I mean, he's questionable. What's his questionable?
I see that. I see that likely floating around.
He said, "I see that likely floating around."
I do.
Where is he at?
I don't know. I saw him though. I saw his name.
Yeah, he's right here. He's right here.
I'm telling you, I think the likely. If you wanted to go Saquon, I think the best play available is likely.
Well, how about we do this?
Well, you don't have to go Saquon. You don't have to go Saquon.
No. Let's mix it up a little bit. Let's see what this looks like.
Oh, what? Put likely at tight end?
Put likely at tight end.
I still like Hawkinson though, but I hear you. This could change it up.
Nah. Well, you would go.
You're
both,
still stuck
right?
with the same. Yeah.
The
problem is I don't like Jeff Wilson Jr. Definitely not going to start Madison. He's a backup. Like you could get Andrews if you wanted to do this, but then we're going double Baltimore tight ends. That's a terrible idea. Can't do that.
Yeah. It's a bad
and I think we got to stick with Hawkinson because we got Cousins.
Yeah. Okay. Agreed. All right. He should be.
Now the question is if we don't have to go likely. I'm not saying we have to, but that was if you wanted to put Saquon in. If you don't want to put Saquon in and take him out, we can go somebody higher, obviously.
So I think Saquon's. I like this. So far I like everything. My only thought
so do I.
My only thought is see, but Diggs, he's his guy, man. Like, is this he's his guy? I'm just trying to think. Is there anybody outside of Diggs?
Oh yeah, like would you go Gabriel Davis and then see what you could fit?
Yeah, would you go Davis or would you go? I mean, on the board right now.
I just think Diggs is almost guaranteed to drop 20 today. You know, he's going to get you 20 points.
Yeah,
it's
he is
guaranteed.
Give you 20.
And with Gabriel Davis, Gabriel Davis could pop you 25. He also could get you 7. You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, the 7's a killer. Especially with the way that they do it because it's a point per reception.
What's Watkins done? Yeah, but I just want to stay away from the Baltimore pass catchers.
Yeah. That's why I would only play the tight end or J.K. Dobbins, like either tight end or Dobbins or maybe Drake because they throw to him the ball out of the backfield as a cheap play. But besides that, I would completely stay away from Baltimore.
Let's go. Let's go, Kenny Galladay. Galladay with a touchdown. Galladay with a touchdown. Does Galladay show up today?
I mean, he did have a TD the other week. Yes.
Yeah.
On Darius Slay. Who hasn't covered anybody in a month?
Right. Does Galladay make a appearance today? I kind of like Galladay as just a throw at the dart out of all those receivers. But then let me see something here. I just want to see something. If I do this, if I go, where is he at? What is it? 3,000, right? If I go Kenny Galladay. Just as a throw at the dart. We got to get lucky, right? Because there's gonna be so many players that are the same here. I mean, so many stacks that are in the same, and we have our flex. Does that open up anything? No, it doesn't really open up much.
Feeling, but then we're going 3 Minnesota guys. Then you're hoping that Cousins has a monster game.
Yeah. Is there anybody else here worth figuring out? I think we have the.
Honestly, I think Richie James and likely is the best play. I really do.
I think I'm gonna agree. I think I'm gonna agree. I don't mind mind Galladay.
I think Galladay's so boom or bust though. You know what I mean? Like you're really hoping he catches a long TD.
He's got to get you 2 points, right? 1.7. That's where his number is.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying, but you need to get realistically to be good. You need him to get 15.
Yeah, well, 10 to 15 would be the luck factor.
Yeah, that's what you would need if you're gonna hit a monster lineup. The problem is, will he?
Let's go.
You're hoping he catches a long touchdown if you play him. That's what you're hoping.
Yeah. I'm hoping he scores. Yeah. Is what I'm hoping.
That's all it is.
He scores. All right, so I think you're right. This will be the play of the day here. The MoneyPot DFS with the the guru himself, Willie Vegas, helping us through
I'm
it.
using this exact thing, so let's go. Hopefully we hit.
Yeah, I think I don't think there's anywhere else you could improve this one. Maybe if you wanted to look at running backs, but a boomer bust with James Cook.
It's just to me, it seems it's very tough to get Jefferson and Diggs in a lineup together, right? Especially with Barkley. So I think the way that we did it is very good. I love the James Cook play. And I really think that Richie James is, I mean, we already said it. He's the highest yards over under guy for the game for the Giants. So they have him as the highest pass catcher. He's been catching the ball well for them. Expect him to have a good game. And fucking Anthony Brown throws the likely. So let's go. All we need is Kirk to come out and play well, which is asking a lot in a big game. But that's all we need. Kirk plays well. We're sitting pretty.
I think this is a good ass lineup because think about it, we have Cousins, Barkley, Jefferson, Diggs, and Hockenson in this lineup.
Yep.
Who's gonna carry you? And that's 80 points almost by itself. If you look at it, right?
Yeah,
Cousins
feeling good.
18, Barkley's 18.
You just need one of them to go off for a 30 banger.
Yeah. And the likelihood of that happening, and then
extremely
you're
good.
Double dipping.
Diggs and Jefferson might both hit 30 bangers, honestly.
Yeah. I really like this play. I really do. I really like this play. So we'll load that up, man. Before we get out of here, any other kind of plays you got going on, parlays, anything you want to give to the people here, Willie, before we get out of here and get everybody ready for NFL Sunday?
Honestly, I'm just let's go Birds next week. We don't know who we play yet, but I'm rooting for the Giants today because that's what I want. Bring on
you want the Giants?
G-men. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. I think we steamroll the Giants. Out of the three teams that are possible for us to play right now, Giants, Cowboys, Bucks, I'd rather have the Giants than anybody. And even though the Buccaneers stink. The Buccaneers stink. But it's Tom, and they would have just beaten the Cowboys, and I'd be like,
right, yeah. And then you hear his story about his magical run. Does the old gun got one more run left in him?
He's got one left in him, yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't want it.
I actually want to see the Cowboys, to be honest.
I would, and I said this the other night at the bar. I would love to see the Cowboys. That's the biggest boom or bust for me because there would be nothing better than beating the Cowboys in the playoffs. But there's also nothing worse than losing to the Cowboys in the playoffs. Yeah. So it's such a then if we get the Cowboys, we better win. Yeah. But I would love to see it.
We better win against anybody we play. We can't go one and done.
True.
But I like our chances against the Cowboys at home against them. So
I like our chances against anybody at home, really. But let's go. I'm just ready to go. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, sir. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining in, man. If you haven't already, please hit the like, hit the subscribe, share out the show, tell a friend to tell a friend. I say it all the time. And if you aren't following MoneyPot Podcast on all social medias, on YouTube, Facebook, all that good stuff, Twitter, wherever you can find us, make sure you go ahead and follow us. My name is Moss Money. That man over there is Brian Wilson, a.k.a. Willie. They call him Willie Vegas. We are out of here, folks. Let's go. Have a day.